So, some of you might be wondering where the next Beyblade video is. Well, here it is. What's up guys, Penguin CJP here, and today we will be reviewing the first volume of the Beyblade Burst manga. So I know what some of you are thinking. Penguin CJP. There's a Beyblade Burst manga? Why yes! Only in Japan, Spain, Europe, everywhere but America, apparently. Yeah, so this is the Beyblade Burst manga. It is what inspired the anime. Some may think it was the other way around, where the anime came first and then the manga, but no. The anime is actually based off of this manga. So, of course, here on the cover, you got the main character, Voltaoi. There's his main rival, Shu. And on the back, you got Rantaro, Wakiya, Daigo, and Ken. Now then, what is the plot of this manga? Well, it's pretty much the start of Season 1 of Beyblade Burst. We start off with Volt and Rantaro getting ready for a battle. And as their battle begins, Volt's Bay, Valtryek, and yes, I'm using the American names. I know that Valtryek's Japanese name is Valkyrie, but look, I'm going to use the American names, so shush. Anyway, Valtryek gets thrown out of the arena and into a statue because they were actually battling in the gym, and their teacher gives them a punishment where they have to stand outside the school with buckets. They have to hold heavy buckets of water, and Volt even had one on his head. And Volt's all sad because all he wants to do is bay battle and train. That's all he wants. He didn't mean to do that. And the teacher comes out to the two boys and is like, alright, look, here. We can give you your own club. You can have your own club room in here with your own base stadium and everything. Just don't break anything, okay? So that makes them incredibly excited. And there's also a TV in that room. And as they are watching it, they see Shu on there. And Rantaro's all impressed because Shu is like one of the best up-and-coming bladers. And Volt's like, oh yeah, Shu's my best bud. I know him. And Rantaro doesn't believe him. Then we cut to the local town tournament. And this is Volt's first time competing. And yeah, he does not do good with crowds. He walks and talks like a robot. He has incredible stage fright. And of course, his first opponent is Rantaro with his Bay Roctavore. So they start their battle, and just like during the beginning, Roctavore hits Valtryek out, and Rantaro is, you know, kind of being like, man, you know Shu Kurenai, one of the best bladers ever, and yet you're this bad? Come on, man, you gotta step it up. And suddenly, Volt changes for a moment. He aims his launcher down, and they even show a really cool shot of him with the avatar of Valtryek behind him. And they battle again, and Volt does his first special move, the Rush Launch, which gives him a burst finish and beats Roctavore, meaning that he won his first match. The next chapter begins with Volt kinda getting a big head about his win. He is training with Rantaro, to be fair, because he does know that he needs to have some proper training, but he kinda doesn't believe Rantaro should train him because, I mean, he lost, so why listen to him? And some people come up to Volt and are really amazed, and they want to see his special move, so he shows off his Rush Launch, if I can speak, and they're all impressed. You know, he's really full of himself. And then we go on to the next match against Ken. And Ken, along with his puppets, have his Bay, Kerbeus. And before the battle starts, that's when we actually get to learn the Bay weakness triangle, where defense types beat attack types defeat stamina types, and stamina types defeat defense types, and then balance types are in the middle. And that's when Volt realizes, oh, I'm at a disadvantage. But he tries to do his rush launch again because Shu is watching, and he really wants to impress Shu. So they start their battle, he tries his rush launch, and it doesn't work. He gets another ring out, and he's not quite sure what to do. And then he tries something a little different. He starts to concentrate one more time, and as he launches, it at first seems like a mislaunch because Valtryek hits, like slams into the side of the stadium. But that actually starts increasing Valtryek's speed, allowing for a flash launch, which bursts Kerbeus and gives Volt another win. Then the next chapter starts with Volt getting woken up by his two siblings, and he's talking with his mom. He gets his breakfast. He's all ready for his next match. And along the way, he meets his next opponent, which is Daigo. And Daigo, he seems actually pretty nice at first. Just kind of being like, hey, man, I hope you have a good match. And, Volt's all happy about that until he takes Valtryek and bursts Valtryek in his hand and drops the pieces. And, yeah, he basically just calls Volt nothing and walks off. And then we get to their battle. And the thing about that battle is Daigo's Bay Doomsizer is a pretty formidable opponent, but Daigo doesn't seem like he really cares about blading. And that upsets Volt, because Volt loves blading. Like, yeah, he's not the best blader ever. I mean, he kind of thinks he is, just a little bit, but he doesn't love blading because he wins. He loves it because he just loves it. And during that fight, he actually gets Daigo to understand that loving blading, that passion, is what will ultimately get him the win. And yeah, Volt does beat him. And then the final chapter of this book actually has Shu go up to Volt's house, and Shu kind of stays with him and his family for a little bit because he wants to help train Volt for his next match, because the next match is the semifinals, where Volt has to fight Wakiya and his Bay Wyvron. And yeah, Shu basically just tells Volt, hey, yeah, you can't beat Wyvron. You can't do it at your level. So they do some long, intense training. Volt goes up to his match with Wakiya, and Wakiya is incredibly cocky. Doesn't even, talk to Volt, really. He literally just walks up, looks at Shu, and is like, hey, get ready for our match. And then they have their fight, and Wakiya is pretty formidable, but Volt remembers his training and is able to burst Wyvron. And yeah, the volume ends with him getting ready for the final match with Shu. Now, I know what some of you are probably thinking. Penguin CJP, aren't you forgetting some stuff? What about the stuff with Daigo's brother? Which is kind of why he was a jerk during his match with Volt? Or the stuff with Rantaro being, best buds with Volt? Yeah, that stuff isn't in here. I want to be able to bring up that stuff. I wish it was in here, but I'm gonna be honest. What I just told you, that plot summary, is everything that happens in this book. I mean, there was a part where we got to see Shu early on, and he broke the base stadium he was training at. So that was cool. That was a nice way to show how strong he is, but yeah, that's really it for this plot summary. I don't have anything else to really talk about. So, the characters. Volt Aoi is our main character, and one thing I do think is very interesting, and that I do like in the manga, though I can understand why some people wouldn't, is Volt is a lot more arrogant in this book. And it's not like super arrogant. Like, it's not like Wakiya, where he actively demeans everyone around him. No, it's just that whenever he gets praised by someone, he lets it get to his head. Like, it's not even funny him how cocky he can get whenever people praise him. But I think that is an interesting character trait for him to have, and that's also partially why he starts losing during some of his matches, because he gets cocky, he gets full of himself. It's only when he calms down and he focuses that he's actually able to win his matches, which that's really cool. That's very interesting, because that means that, yeah, no, he can be as skilled as Shu. His biggest issue is that he just lets his victories and accomplishments get to him a lot more than he really should. And I guess now we can go on to Shu. Well, Shu's kind of the main rival. I mean, he is friends with Volt. He's kind of stern. That's really all I can say. I mean, like, he looks super serious, and he is serious, to be fair, but, you know, he still helps out Volt, and, you know, goes to his house to help train him and everything. Yeah, that's really all I can say about him in this volume. As for the rest of these guys, Wakiya's very cocky. Yeah, another thing about this volume compared to the actual anime, the characters are nothing. Like, Rantaro in the anime, he's a huge bro. Like, he's very charismatic. He's very theatrical, too. He's one of the best characters for comedy, as well as just like a really good bro character and a really good motivator. And in this manga, I mean, whenever Volt gets a big head, he gets mad at him. That's really it, though. Like, there's nothing else about him in this book. Literally nothing. Ken, he talks with puppets. That's it. Daigo, I mean, he's edgy. You know, he's edgy, and he doesn't really have a passion for blading, which he does seem to get after he loses to Volt. But yeah, there's not even the story about his brother in this book. It's just, he's edgy. And like I said, Wakiya is arrogant, and that's it. Like, the characters are so bland and nothing in here. I can't think of what else to say. If there is one thing that I'm definitely going to praise about this manga, it is the art. The art in this manga is so good. I love the character expressions. I do really enjoy the Bay battles. They aren't incredible battles, not compared to the anime. I definitely say you watch the anime for the fights, but they're still pretty cool. It's fairly easy to understand what's going on. Also, this is the shot I was talking to you about with Volt down there getting all ready and all concentrated, and Valtryek's avatar, which, one thing I also really like about the avatars in this book are you get to see, like, the avatars, like, attack each other, which, that is really cool. I wish that they did that in the anime more. They do it a couple times, but they really do it in the manga, and it's really cool. The comedic faces are really nice. There's one joke in here where Volt gets really annoyed and he goes Super Saiyan. So that was really fun. And yeah, no, the art for the characters, the character designs, everything about that is fantastic. Like, I can't knock on that at all. It's really, really good. And yeah, that is definitely by far the best part about this volume. So, final thoughts. This is hard. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to give this volume a bad score, but it's just so nothing. Like, the only thing that happens in this volume is Volt learns 2 special moves, and he gets to the finals to fight Shu. That's it. I wish I could say more about it, but it's just so by the numbers. There's no substance to this book. And I've heard from multiple people that the manga definitely gets better, especially during the later seasons of the anime, which, yeah, the later seasons of the anime get worse. Like, season 1 of the anime, probably my favorite season of Beyblade Burst by far. Evolution is definitely close to that, but the rest of the seasons... So, yeah, the manga probably does those other seasons better, and I do want to get the rest of the volumes of this manga eventually, but as for just reading Volume 1, I really don't care about getting the rest of the manga. I don't really care about what happens next. I mean, yeah, I can't fault the manga too much. It did come before the anime. The anime fleshed out a lot of what was in the manga, so yeah, the stuff about Daigo's brother and the more characterization for all these guys, that was an anime thing, so I can't really blame the manga for not doing that because, well, this came first. But I saw the anime first, and I'm pretty sure most people who are watching this review, if not all of the people watching this review, have also seen the anime first. So it's really disappointing how nothing and by the number this manga is. I mean, if you want to check it out, cool, it's fine, I guess, but I really can't recommend it that much. I mean, if you like Beyblade, you'll enjoy it. It was an easy read. I'm not gonna act like it was a complete slog to read through, because it wasn't. The fights were nice. It's just that there's no substance in this book whatsoever. You could get much more enjoyment, I feel, out of a lot of other series. At least for the first volume. I want to reiterate, so no one murders me in the comments, I'm only basing this off of my thoughts for this volume alone. If it gets better later on, cool, awesome. But as for first volume, yeah, no, I really can't recommend it. Well, as disappointing as that was, I do hope that you guys did enjoy this review. And this is Penguin CJP, signing